An overzealous judiciary, a hyperactive civil society, multi-billion-dollar scams, decision-making under the UPA came to a standstill. The government was in a drift and bureaucrats were too scared to take decisions. Cut to May this year, Prime Minister Modi's first attempt was to revive a paralyzed bureaucracy, refurbish administration and unclog the system. So soon after taking over, Modi first met secretaries from close to 80 departments who made PowerPoint presentations on the status of existing schemes and their efficacy, and were also given targets to meet. This direct indulgence of the PM got a thumbs up from experts.
Right now, it is a testing time for all the secretaries. I believe he gives clear instructions, then he expects compliance and reporting in case there is difficulty. So he is definitely putting these senior bureaucrats on the mat. I believe he monitors those things very closely.
But with empowerment comes responsibility. Bureaucrats have to come on time and stay in late to ensure better work environment. In fact, decision-making has also been speeded up, with the Prime Minister choosing to dissolve the group of ministers and the empowered group of ministers. The emphasis on e-governance, moving clearances and certifications to e-portals is a big administrative reform, one which will reduce both discretion and red tape. The over-ambitious judiciary has been tempered with the Judicial Appointments Commission Bill passed in Parliament recently, which replaces a collegium for selecting judges with a panel that will have the Chief Justice of India, 2 senior Supreme Court judges, the Law Minister and 2 eminent persons. It's true that administrative tinkering may boost short-term prospects only, but are crucial in cleaning up the system to deliver better. Allegations of centralized authority and micromanagement are true to an extent as well. But experts believe as Prime Minister Modi gets more accustomed to central governance, he will perhaps let go of some control as well. Gauri Dwivedi, ET Now, New Delhi.
Let's get you an expert take then, and who better, who's been a part of Indian bureaucracy for over 4 long decades. GK Pillai, former Home Secretary, joins us right here in Business Tonight. Thanks very much for being with us. How do you assess the administrative reforms? He's made some headway, but are you happy with the administrative reforms being carried out so far?
Well, personally, I think real administrative reforms are in one sense yet to begin. I think what the Prime Minister has done is to talk with the bureaucrats, especially the senior bureaucrats, and give them a clear message that he wants decisions to be taken. He wants them to keep the offices clean. He wants time-bound implementation of the programs that they are to implement. So far, so good. But I still think that the bureaucracy itself is still in a wait and watch attitude because some of the signals which have come have not been, shall I say, or have been really in one sense confusing.
Right. So you are saying that, reforms are yet to really be taken, but bureaucracy we know has been empowered. They're also being monitored. So somewhere there's that feeling of, being under scrutiny, isn't it?
I don't think so. I think, we all talk of good governance. But simple thing of good governance is basically monitoring the decisions that you have taken and making sure that these are implemented. So if you can have a mechanism by which you monitor at every level and make sure that the decisions taken are implemented without, shall I say, further red tape or any further delays, I think that's the basic good governance. He has a lot of things still to do, because I think I would have expected the Prime Minister to have actually said that, say for business, for small and medium businesses in India, they should have been exempted from the Inspector Raj, and you should have accepted self-certification by the owners or entrepreneurs. I think that would have sent a very clear signal down. And this is something which has been done, say in the income tax, where the returns are accepted except for a 2% computer-generated random verification. I think a similar thing is what I think the government needs to do for the small and medium business also, which is really the bedrock of the Indian industry.
But Mr. Pillai, just to take a cue from what you just said, to minimize interface with bureaucracy, to minimize interface with governance, this government is giving a big thrust to e-governance. But does India really have the supporting infrastructure to go with it?
Yeah, I think so. I think in a way it takes time. It's not easy to train the entire machinery to be able to handle the way you know, the whole internet, or you want the e-governance issues to handle. There are a lot of issues yet to be resolved, and I think it will take time, and therefore I personally should think that you will have to wait at least 1 year to see whether at least a minimum amount of what shall I say, what the government intends to do gets actually translated on the ground. Because if they don't do that, and I said, and I still put my you know, sort of the key indicator is employment. If the government is not able to provide employment for the next 12 million people who come into the job market every year, I think you are going to find yourself in a tremendous amount of problems in the years to come.
You know, Mr. Pillai, institutional activism had peaked out during the UPA tenure. Would you agree with us that somewhere that's been reined into?
Yeah, to an extent, yes. I think it is important. I think the government has to govern, and if government governs, then I think other institutions will give way. As I always said, nature abhors a vacuum, and if you do not take a decision or you abdicate your responsibility, then all other institutions come into the way. And I think everybody needs to understand there is a role for the government, there is a role for the judiciary, there is a role for the legislature, and they all have to function within those areas.
Mr. GK Pillai, it's always a pleasure chatting with you, and especially when it comes to administrative reforms. Who better than you, who's been in the thick of things for 40 long years. Thanks very much for being with us.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.